Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 GMO Suggested Combinations run, where we take two characters suggested by you, the viewers, combine them, and see if I can beat Danger 5 with them. Hope you're all doing well. Today, we are going to be combining two characters with some interesting synergy and some interesting anti-synergy. These characters have two abilities that work really well together, but also a penalty that shuts off the normal method of gameplay for these characters. We're going to be playing the Lich, which uses its regeneration and healing in order to deal damage, as long as it's not at full health, combined with the Sick, which will always be at lower than full health, because we're taking constant damage, but cannot use regeneration. Normally, regeneration is how the Lich actually does its damage, so this is going to be an interesting combination to try to navigate when we can't use health regeneration. We could be in danger of having our health drop too low and ending up dying. For our weapon here, we definitely want something we can lifesteal pretty frequently with, which means there's really like two options in my opinion. We could use the submachine gun for the maximum possible lifesteal, or the slingshot, which gives us comparable lifesteal because of the bounces, and also bonus HP, which is of course very useful for the Lich. Generally, I like playing Lich with slingshot. I also have played Sick with slingshot. I think I did that for both of my class guides for these characters, so these are pretty synergistic with the slingshot in general. I actually haven't done a slingshot build in a long time, and it's one of the most powerful weapons in the game, so let's do a slingshot build. I've done a lot of SMG runs recently, I feel like. Oops, shouldn't have stepped on that, that enemy there. So as you can see, we are not able to clear enemies super rapidly because our lifesteal is low currently. We would certainly have better wave 1 wave clear with the submachine gun, but I think we can make up for it just by getting a bunch more slingshots. We've got minus 90 HP regeneration, which luckily doesn't just kill us instantly, but does mean that we will never be able to regenerate HP using HP regeneration, but 35% lifesteal, so we should be able to regenerate pretty well using lifesteal. Do I want luck here? Max HP, roll for harvesting. I'm just going to take the luck. Just getting economy stats going early feels pretty good. And then we'll grab a slingshot and roll. Grab another slingshot, because we're also going to get free HP from the slingshots, the primitive weapon tag. Roll again. Definitely locking this scar, and we'll roll for more slingshots. Oh, and a baby gecko. This is like the perfect item setup for this character. Scar is great both because it's a super early scar for XP, which is obviously awesome, but also because every time you level up, you gain HP, which is what we're going to be using to deal damage with our Lich passive. And baby gecko, of course, is going to help us with all of the materials that we're leaving all over. So that more or less couldn't be a better early shop. Obviously, we would also, of course, take like bag or fertilizer, but those two items are excellent and synergistic with this character. I should actually be avoiding picking up the consumables because I want to be not at full health so that we can clear the waves, make sure that we're constantly life-stealing and attacking. Your Lich passive only goes off if you actually heal, so you need to not be at full health. It's generally a good idea to stay between 50 and like 80% HP on the Lich. You generally don't want to go too far below 50% because then you put yourself in danger of dying, but you don't want to go above 80% because then you stop actually killing stuff. Here I'll just take 2 armor because it's a level 2 upgrade. Grab the slingshot and roll, and another slingshot and roll. 1 more reroll. Nice, okay, so we found 5 weapons with the 6th locked, 2 good items locked in the shop, so this is going very well, I would say. Later on is where the real challenge is going to be, because currently we're not actually taking enough damage to be at low health all the time, so we're going to have trouble wave clearing. And our slingshots are pretty quickly going to stop helping us with wave clear, thanks to the Lich's damage penalty. We're going to have trouble with the slingshots actually killing stuff, so we're going to need to make sure that we're increasing our Lich damage output pretty quickly. I could take 5% attack speed. I think we can roll for maybe a level 2 upgrade here. Yeah, we can take the level 2 speed and 10% attack speed. Perfect. Definitely grab the slingshot here. And then we'll take the Scar and Baby Gecko, perfect amount of money. Elemental damage we'll never be able to build, so Magic Barrier is not particularly useful. Oh yeah, also, I have updated my microphone settings a little bit for this recording. I'm trying to remove some of the, like, echo and tinniness that some of my recent recordings have had. I hadn't changed my mic settings at all, but I feel like they were getting more and more sort of, like, harsh vocals. So let me know if this has helped, if this sounds better, or if it sounds, like, too muddy. This is always a process, so I appreciate everyone's feedback when I'm messing with sound settings, especially because I'm very much not an audio guy, so really appreciate all your help. Let's pick up some luck here, and then re-roll. 45 range is kind of interesting. Basically, we need to be life-stealing constantly, so we just want to be attacking all the time. So 45 range actually would help with that. I don't think it's better to take than 10 luck, though, which is just such a powerful upgrade. We'll definitely take the coffee. Do I actually want to skip weird food? So weird food has some anti-synergy with the Lich, because you heal, your Lich passive goes off whenever you heal any damage instance, any healing instance. So if you pick up a consumable, then it is only going to trigger your Lich passive once, no matter how much it heals. The weird food can bring us back to full health too quickly, stopping our passive from going off, so it can be a little dangerous. It's still just such a good item, though, that we're going to pick it up. We'll grab the slingshot. Definitely going to take some more armor as well, because we want to be able to walk into enemies and take small amounts of damage, because this whole the whole premise of this character is around controlling our HP. Currently, still getting decent wave clear from the slingshots themselves. That will... Basically, you can rely on the weapons, because slingshot's just such an excellent weapon for, like, the early to mid-game. You can rely on the weapons to work until wave, like, 7 or 8, at which point the Lich's damage penalty becomes too much, and you have to start relying on their passive instead. Definitely take more coffee here, and more attack speed, I think, over more luck. Both of these are really good, but constantly life-stealing is the name of the game for us. We will buy some armor, and then... So, Weird Ghost, I cannot pick. Normally this is a good pick for the Lich, because you'll just regenerate your health back, thanks to your passive regeneration. But since this build needs lifesteal, if I took the Weird Ghost, we would just die, because we have no passive regeneration. So, that's a trap for the unwary, if you're just remembering playing this character in other runs. We're going to roll here, and the metal is a perfect item for us, so we'll pick that up. We don't care about our critical hit chance at all, since again, all of our damage comes from the Lich passive, which can't crit, so we can happily tank that. Gonna step over here, pick up those 2 high-value materials, go pick up the ones that are over here. Trying to make sure to keep picking up materials, and you can see I'm keeping my HP just around the, like, 30 mark, because we've got 48 HP, so if we're around 30, then we're between 50 and 80%, which is exactly where I want to be. So as I heal up a little bit, I walk into more enemies, and so on. 1.5 ranged damage, honestly, I just don't think is that worth picking up here. It's an okay upgrade, and slingshots do get a lot of value out of it, but I think maybe we just want the movement speed. Now, I'm going to take the ranged damage. It's fine to grab that, and if we get another half a ranged damage, that'll be a pretty real upgrade to our damage output. I almost just snapped off the regeneration, because I'm so used to that, but we will take the move speed here. Buying the coupon, again avoiding Weird Ghost, which I'm going to keep telling myself so that I don't accidentally click on it. And Alien Worm, so normally this is a good item for Lich, because it gives you regeneration, which you need, and max HP, and you don't really care about reducing your consumable heals for the reasons I talked about already. I think here we're going to pass on it. Without the regeneration, this is a lot less appealing. Mouse, of course, an excellent find. That's going to be a ton of additional money, and then we'll definitely take both of these. I will say, the fact that we found 3 coffees is pretty amazing for this build. I do want to buy some percentage damage, because right now our percent damage is low, and the Lich just decreases it even further. Try to walk into some enemies to get our passive to actually trigger. There we go. So, as you can see, we're still getting decent wave clear from the slingshots, but around like wave 8 or 9 that stops working super well. Wave 9 in particular, they'll still be fine, but enemy damage is going to start, or enemy health is going to outscale our damage as we go up in waves. And the Lich passive is going to have to take over. I also want to break the eggs, because every time our passive bounces to one of the slashers, that's like a whole enemy that we don't kill, because it probably isn't high enough damage to actually kill them. Okay, well, we're almost never going to be full health except at the end of a wave, but Dusty Fedora is still really awesome, so we're going to pick it up here. I think this is still a good pick. This might end up being terrible, but I think it's worth grabbing. We will take being terrible just because it's going to make it harder for us to pick up materials and harder for us to lifesteal, because the enemies will be more spread out. But since we have 40% lifesteal, I think we'll be fine. And of course, as we snowball our luck ahead this early in the game, that helps a ton. For that reason, I'm actually going to take the luck over the HP or attack speed, although we want both of those, of course. But we can get our Dusty Fedora rolling faster if I pick that up. Buy this, this, and this. Blood Leech we don't really need. We are at -5 harvesting as well from the mouse, because I haven't bought any harvesting. Blood Leech is 2% lifesteal going to 42%. I don't think we need that. I will definitely buy the Clover. Dodge percent can be really useful for this build as well. We don't really care about losing lifesteal because we have plenty. We'll take the Metal Detector, going back to 0% damage. So obviously we're going to be not at full health during the wave. That's our goal. But at the end of the wave, if there's enough consumables on the ground, we should be able to heal back to full and then gain a few points of luck. Definitely need to find more geckos now, though. Ah, these 2 trees that spawned at the edge of the map. They were hiding from me. Tanking a bunch of hits there just to make sure that we're constantly ticking our passive. And then near the end of the wave, I'm going to try not to reduce my health too much, just to maximize our luck income. Yeah, alright, we got a couple points. I'm going to take the harvesting just to offset the harvesting penalty, make it a little cleaner. And then I'll take the Bean Teacher before we go into wave 9. That's pretty nice. It means giving up 20 luck, but the 40% XP gain going into wave 9 is definitely worth it. Ugly Tooth is going to be great. This can help us survive against elites by slowing them down. And I will take the small magazine because the range damage is relevant, moderately relevant, and the attack speed is very relevant. Losing 3% damage is worth it. Need to boost my max HP next as well. So again, trying to just chip my HP down, but we have the lifesteal where we're constantly healing back up. The real challenge for this build is going to be elite. This loot alien is going to be really hard to get. We did actually kill it just with focused fire from the slingshots and a couple lucky bounces of our passive, but on wave 9 especially, loot aliens are really hard for the Lich to kill, because you just have to have your passive hit them many times over to actually get anything done. Uh, 139 materials on the ground, which is of course the challenge for this build. we will take the leather vest here. Those defensive stats are still good. Movement speed is really important now that we've bought the fedora, so that we can move around the map more. And we'll take the attack speed. Yeah, I'll take a 12% move speed. Alright, now we're speedy. We will buy this and this. And I don't think we need the banner. I'm going to reroll. I will... Do I care about reducing enemy movement speed with the snail? It could help against the elites, so I think I will pick it up. Hunting trophy, unlikely to ever happen because we have no critical hit chance. We'd have to build a lot. Power generator is going to be great, though. Do I want that over the level 3 slingshot? I think I actually do. Obviously, our move speed is very high, so we get a decent amount of percent damage. And even small amounts of percent damage, when our percent damage is this low, represent a pretty significant increase to our damage output. So even though we only got like 12% out of that, that's still a pretty... I mean, that's a full 12% increase to our damage output at this point. Trying to pick up, again, as many materials as we can here. Killing the loot alien. A bag would have really been nice for this build as well. Oh, there. Alright, there's another loot alien here. Let's see if we can get it. Our damage, of course, off of our slingshots is so low that it's really tough to actually focus single specific enemies, which is why the elite is going to be such a problem for this build, probably. Take the wings here. We will recycle the candle. I'll take 9 max HP. That increases our damage output significantly. Lifesteal, we still don't really need to boost that when we have 36%. Let's roll twice, I guess, and I guess I'll take... No, I'll just take 10 luck. 3% lifesteal would be fine, but luck is still just very good. Still upgrading our slingshots. I want to get them all to level 2. I don't really care about getting them to level 3, but more bounces is still just good for us. And then, very happy to see another gecko. Rolling here. I think I'm just going to pass on the other level 3 slingshot. I just don't think that matters that much to us. Do I want the blindfold? Alien Eyes is another way to deal damage, so I think I will pick that up. It's based on our HP, just like our other damage output. I think we will pass on the blindfold. No, I probably do want to build dodge eventually, so I'll pick it up. We'll grab another Alien Eyes. Alright, this is going pretty well. Alien Eyes is one way that this build can actually kill bosses and elites also, because it lets you focus a bunch of damage on them by kind of standing inside of them. Also, now we're really, really fat, which is just fun. Trying to walk into the rib cages to reduce my HP here. Wouldn't mind a lumberjack shirt also. Makes killing the trees much easier because our slingshot bounces don't target them, and our passive, I'm actually not certain if it can bounce to them. I think it can't. Most of those effects won't be able to target trees most of the time. Making pretty good money at this point, though. Just picking up all the materials that we can. And collecting a little bit of luck. We'll pick up the Shady Potion here. Let's roll, and... so this is 3% damage from the power generator. More lifesteal could help against the elite. I think I'm going to grab the lifesteal, because when we're focusing in elite, and like I'll repeatedly take hits from it, and then just attack it a bunch, the 40% lifesteal will help with maintaining that. We will take 10 luck here. Again, cannot take a weird ghost, but we will take the Alien Eyes. Gonna roll. Another gecko and a gentle alien. Bait is fine. The elite is the only real threat to us, so I'm gonna make sure that we just have other stuff on the field to reduce our HP and to lifesteal off of, so bait's actually gonna help us in this fight against the elite. Still taking 3% damage here, and we will take the gecko as well, of course. And then I guess I'll take a coupon. The alloy gives me 3 ranged damage, which becomes 1.5. I think we can pass on that. Do I want half a ranged damage from the lens? I think we currently have 2 and 2.5 ranged damage, so if I buy half a ranged damage, that actually does increase our damage output, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to go walk in here, take a hit from the elite, and then do the same again to maintain my low HP. Standing next to it to try to hit it with as many Alien Eyes triggers as possible, but also be constantly life-stealing so that we're clearing the wave. Standing directly inside it, I mistimed that. That time I timed it right, and you can see what a big burst it took from the Alien Eyes. That's one way that a lot of these low damage builds can kill elites, is by standing inside of them when the Alien Eyes proc. Then all of your Alien Eyes projectiles hit them at once for a big burst of damage. Makes it a really solid item for some low damage builds. And there we go. Not usual that you get to kill an elite as the Lich, but we built appropriately to do that. The Alien Eyes made it possible. Without finding those, we'd have just had to survive. Flabort cost me a bunch of movement speed, but gives us 10% attack speed every wave. I think that's gotta be worth it. That's a huge amount of bonus attack speed. The magic barrier, now still too inefficient because our elemental damage just isn't that high. I will take the max HP here. Elusive Ghost, I think I'm adding this to the banned items list, alongside the marksmanship and the gold-plated teeth, because it doesn't work, and the tooltip is just wrong. What it does is just make your lifesteal double your dodge and increases your dodge cap to 65, so you just end up getting like 100 points of lifesteal when you buy this, which makes it broken. So we're gonna pass on this in future runs, except for like endless mode nonsense and stuff. I will buy the butterfly. The more we lifesteal, the more damage we do. Another Alien Eyes will again help us to kill elites, and we'll take a Cyclops Worm. I'll also take the Lost Duck and lock the Lemonade, because both of those will be pretty helpful. It would be fun if there was an item that let you decrease the cooldown on Alien Eyes. It's not affected by attack speed, but I feel like maybe it should be affected by improved tools, even though it's not a construct, or something similar. But as you can see, it's doing a lot of work for our wave clear on this build. And I picked up, like, Baby Elephant and stuff like that, because just splashing more damage around the field is what's going to help us actually clear the waves. Is there a chance we can kill the loot alien? Yes, because we have the Alien Eyes, so those spawn and just burst it down immediately. I've mentioned this before, but Alien Eyes is the item that makes commenters the angriest of any item in Brotato. There's a lot of people who just really, really hate that item for some reason and get really mad whenever it gets picked. I don't know why personally. It's a reasonably good but situational item. I think I put it in C tier in my tier list way back when, and I think that's like about right. Vigilante Ring, we will get only a small amount of percentage damage at this point, but still worth picking up, because, again, small amounts of percent damage are still really valuable. Upgrading to a level 2 slingshot just for more bounces, and the bag will still help a lot. Even this late, we're going to make money off it, and we're going to make money off this one too. Do I want the butterfly? I probably do, just boosting my lifesteal even further. Walked into that shot deliberately, or like walking into projectiles, just keeping my health low. Though it's less important for me to do that now that I have the Alien Eyes, which is actually doing a ton of work in terms of wave clear for us. This was a pretty interesting build, because it made me think about these two characters. I had to think about them in a pretty different way than you normally do, because normally on Lich you rely on regeneration rather than lifesteal. And normally on Sick you just rely on having tons of free stats, because it's just a character that gets a bunch of stats, so you can just overcome the penalties by virtue of just being way ahead economically, because you don't have to buy healing or anything. But this character doesn't get sort of either of those strengths, so it's really interesting to have to play around it. We'll take the blindfold for more dodge, we'll recycle here, we'll take the adrenaline. This is actually not great, because it's going to heal us in 5 HP instances, so that's more healing than we want, but still just a good item for us and increases our survivability. Even on the Lich and similar characters, dodge is still good, because it just effectively multiplies your HP, so it just makes you better at surviving. And you can still take damage, you just have to get to walk into the middle of a group of enemies before you take a hit, rather than having to run away from the edges of groups of enemies. So having high dodge actually gives you more agency over when and how you take damage, and your positioning around the field. Compass for speed, because we get some % damage off it, that's probably good. We could take the Obliterator to help focus down elites, but that feels out of theme for the build. But that would be an option. Taking both of those, and for 42 we won't reroll here. Alright, so I'm gonna run up here and try to stand inside the elite again, so that it eats all of our alienized projectiles as much as possible. Get these, like, large bursts of damage. There we go. You have to time it right, which is hard to do, especially if you don't have sort of infinite defensive stats, which this build doesn't really. If you have enough defensive stats that you can just stand inside it and have it tank it, then it's fine. Unfortunately, I think because we got this summoner elite that summons super high health tentacles, I don't know if we're going to be able to kill it, because the tentacles are stacked up on top of it and absorbing shots. So yeah, unfortunately there was not really a way to do that. We also didn't have any piercing shots at the time, which now we do. If I'd had those, it might have been easier, but because those tentacles spawn and they have so much HP, they were eating all the shots from my Lich passive, so we weren't getting any damage from that on the elite. And because they stack right on top of you and the elite, they eat a bunch of the alienized shots, making it hard to actually hit the elite with all of them. So unfortunate there that I think just a bad roll on what elite we got cost us the kill, but we still, of course, survived and made pretty good money for that wave, given that it's an elite wave, too. Take the sharp bullet here, helping with the alienized piercing and just even more potential chances to lifesteal. Losing 2 damage, 2 range damage, this is fine. We're going to grab the cape. Lifesteal, of course, great, and this gets us almost a dodge cap, which would have made it much easier for us to stand inside that elite. So that would have been really nice to have, like, last wave. Pick this up. Even though it cost me 2 max HP, I think it's still worth it, because our % damage is so low. And then I will roll again, take a leather vest and a takeout, and I'm not going to buy the butterfly here. Trying to take hits to make sure that we actually kill the buffing aliens before they get too many buffs out, because as they do, it's going to become much harder for me for my passive to kill those enemies. Take more ticks of it. For the next boss, because we've got like 50% lifesteal, we'll have better attack speed and everything. And we've got piercing shots, so other enemies won't easily be able to absorb our alienized shots. We should be much better set up to just stand inside it and burst it down with the alienized. I also probably could have killed last wave's elite if I had timed my movement better. Basically, you have to time it so you go in exactly at the 3-second mark when the alien eyes are spawning. We'll take 5 armor and some speed here. We'll recycle this and recycle this, another banned item for these runs. Gonna reroll here. I think we can do better. All right. Yeah, plus HP. That's what I wanted. We'll buy this and this. Padding is kind of interesting. We gain HP over the course of the wave, so we do get some value out of this, but it also costs me speed, which costs me damage, so I want to avoid that. We do have 8% crit chance, so I'm going to pick up the giant belt. That could help us kill the elite with our slingshots, and then we'll grab this. Because even if we only get a few slingshot criticals, the giant belt, of course, is going to be a pretty big deal. And then I am losing a lot of luck here, but we'll take the Terrified Onion for 2% more damage and go fight an elite. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, so this is a tough one because we won't be able to easily stand inside it with the alien eyes. So we're going to have to rely on the giant belt criticals, I think. There we go. That time we got the full burst damage. Not that time, though. Little too slow there. Really trying to get this timing right, and I keep messing it up. It charged out. It really dodged my attack there. Also, of course, want to keep an eye on my HP, because if I'm standing in the elite like this, and we miss a couple % chance dodges in a row, then we can just die, so I do need to pay attention to that. But we got it. The explosive turret will still help with wave clear. It's pretty much always worth picking those up. It just does a ton of damage. And then I'll take the HP over the % damage there. We'll grab the metal and roll. Roll again. Take a blindfold to go. We're over dodge cap, but the crit chance is still useful, and that can let us take a negative dodge item. Allure will be nice here. Going to wave 18. Talking about the, alien eyes making people mad, and it's interesting which topics make YouTube commenters most furious, and that's something I've had the occasion to learn since I've been doing since I've been back on YouTube for over a year. And it's often like these weird situational corner cases that people seem to get most like emotionally invested in. Things like alien eyes, where they're useful sometimes and not so useful other times. Many people strongly believe that they're completely useless. Things like in Baldur's Gate, Shocking Grasp, the cantrip Shocking Grasp, which is like it's an okay cantrip for some builds. People love Shocking Grasp, and get really, really mad when you say it's like basically just okay. Like it's not even a bad cantrip, it's just situational. We're gonna roll here again, and I'll take some more lifesteal at this point. I just want to make sure that we're constantly lifestealing off the bosses. I'll even take just 2 max HP to make sure our Lich passive damage is as strong as possible. We will get fewer lifesteal shots if I pick up the slingshot over the, like a level 3 and a level 1 slingshot is fewer shots usually than 2 level 2s. The Dangerous Bunny doesn't do anything, nor does the Vigilante Ring. My suspicion is that the reason people get the most invested in like corner cases like that is it feels like they know a secret, and so you really like to know a secret, and that makes you care a lot about that thing, because it only comes up sometimes, so you feel like it's special knowledge that only you have. It's just armchair YouTube psychology. Alright, we're gonna recycle the plant there and the wheelbarrow. Buy the coffee. We'll buy the banner here as well. Attack speed is still good, and then I'll offset that lifesteal loss and go into the elite fight. We can pick up the acid. That's part of why I went over dodge cap, is because this is an item that's normally tough to buy, but really good for this character because of the sheer amount of HP it gives you. Small amounts of percent damage are fine. The pumpkin is still probably okay. Piercing damage on our alien eyes at least. And then probably the best upgrade we're getting is just going to another level 3 slingshot, and then going to fight the bosses. Not sure if we're going to have the damage output to kill both of them, but we'll give it our best shot. Stand inside this until the alien eyes spawn. You can see what a big chunk of its health we dealt. There I moved out just a little too early. Now I have to wait for my HP to come back a bit. Then back inside, and there we go. Big chunk of damage. And I cleared this one just because it's the one we started attacking first. And ideally, I don't want to get both of them into their second stage at the same time. Because if the octopus was charging at me the whole time when I was trying to chase that guy down, we'd have taken a lot more damage. So in these like longer boss fights where things are slower and you have to position yourself more carefully, useful to particularly focus down one boss. And there we go. Alien Eyes burst of damage took it out. Having dealt 90,000 damage, that's the HP pools of most of the elites that we fought. That's basically what it did. Let's take a look at our damage output. We did 189,000 from the Lich passive. The slingshots still did good damage in the later stages of the wave. I believe that the giant spelt damage, yeah, is not counted in that. So on top of that, we also got a bunch of giant spelt damage. So the slingshots actually kept up because we ended with 40% damage, a little bit high for typical Lich. Because we had such good item luck in the early game, our economy really accelerated on this character with a very early scar and a bunch of coffees, which let us really snowball forward. And of course, the Dusty Fedora boosting our luck to quite high levels. We got probably like 80 or 90 luck out of this. It wasn't the craziest Dusty Fedora you've ever seen, but still obviously a ridiculously efficient item. The coupons saved us a bunch of money. Even these late bags were worth a ton. I said that before I even looked at how much they were worth because I know how bag works. Baby Elephant did very well. The explosive turret actually helped us with wave clear at the end as well there too. So that was a fun run. It's interesting. Those characters have really interesting combined synergy because one of them's pulling one way, one of them's pulling the other way, and the normal strategy for the Lich, the sick, turns off, but of course they also synergize incredibly, so it's neat to see two characters that both work together and don't work together like that. Alright, my friends, hope you enjoyed this look at the Lich and the Sick, and of course, if you have, feel free to leave a comment and like the video. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do so. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, my friends. I'll catch you next time.